Evening all, welcome into the immediate space battle of awesome. We're basically, just flying around shooting stuff really, not really that exciting. What I was trying to do here was, I think just get used to fighting again. My ground missions for a little bit, but it's been a while since I've actually played properly for a while. And I'll tell you about my latest get-rich-quick scheme is basically going to be a bounty mission, because people are telling me all you do is you take the mission and then you look for them in the what do they call them? The my brain's gone completely. You know, the signal things. You know, the unidentified signals. That's it. And basically, you just go and look for them there. So I'm going to give that a go, and I think really this wasn't a bounty mission here. I was just kind of flying around, going about to my business, and then I kind of dropped into this this unidentified signal zone here, and 3 dudes attacked me. So yeah, I don't know why, but oh look at this game, the beauty of it. Now I feel a bit bad killing a fellow brother Cobra, but you know the guy attacked me. Just literally, I've never had it. Oh my god, look at the bounty on that. That's pretty good. I've never had it where as soon as I drop out of warp, somebody's attacking me, like just immediately. I'm surprised at that. I didn't really think they did that. Here we go. So again, I just guess I thought here that it's probably not going to be wanted there, but look, another wanted guy. It's like, what the hell's going on? It's almost as if I kind of stumbled across the annual Pirates Let Get Together in Dead Space meet and talk about how best to kill stuff. It's like that I kind of wander in without a name badge. But it's pretty cool because I've got to admit it's nice like dropping into and having a bit of a fist fight in the middle of deep space. I do like that. So we go. This hauler is just absolutely toast. Post in the comments, have you ever had a hauler beat you when you've been fighting? Because a hauler's got one laser, right? It's a turret, isn't it? I don't know, but it is just like a terrible, terrible ship for anything other than, well, hauling. Funny that, isn't it? I can't believe it's got any purpose whatsoever other than being just a great big giant loot pinata, which is kind of the reason I guess I go after them. I'm like that with the Type 6s as well. Type 6 Lakons are just shockingly bad. I mean, look at that died so easily. But the Type 6s just are like, they're like a gift that keeps giving, because they're just so good. So here we go, look, Stefan competent wanted. So that's 3 dudes in a row. It's like, where the hell did these guys come from? What's going on? Now, this is my kind of issue with fighting Cobras. They're bloody fast, and I find them very, very difficult to keep up with. But this is, I think, just a little bit of careful afterburning, a little bit of careful, I think, management of your lasers. You can still do damage to them. I don't think the Gatling guns do great damage over that distance, but and plus it's difficult to hit them. But lasers, I think, are definitely worth looking at. I'm tempted to upgrade my lasers now. I think I've had fun with the beam, the pulse rather, or the burst. I think my next step is going to be pulse, or not pulse, beam, just straight solid beams of death. But I'm not sure. Post in the comments, tell me if any got any good combos of weapons. I find things like railguns and cannons awesome, but useless. Hopefully that makes sense, because they're a really nice idea. Like the railgun is such a lovely idea, and the cannons are just amazing. It's real Battlestar Galactica stuff. But the reality is that because they're fixed mount, they're useless. You can't do much with them. So, well, you can if you're good. I guess that's probably the way to think of it. Is if you're actually not a cheating little get like me, you probably could do quite a bit with them. But I'm not a fan of fixed guns. They just don't work. Look at that, warped into a thing, and then about 17k credits. Nice, very nice. And I think that's kind of this is the kind of gameplay I enjoy, just scooting around. I was actually now starting to do the surveying as well. That was actually what I was doing. And I think, to be honest, this is exactly the kind of Elite that I'm looking for. I really do hope it continues like this. It's really cool because I tell you, one of the things that really kind of inspires me with Elite is the fact that whenever you I don't know if you get this, whenever you're watching like TV, if you watch TV, and a lot of people don't know. I know that sounds so kind of archaic and crazy that a lot of people don't watch television anymore. But anyway, I do, but I'm very selective of what I watch because of things like TiVo and Sky Plus and all this. You can pretty much say what you want to watch. And lately, all I've been doing because of Elite is watching the kind of space programs. So I was watching things like The Sky at Night, which is actually, for your information, the longest running TV show in the world now. In the world. It's been running for like 60 years. And, it's still pretty good. I'm not sure about the presenters, but still, anyway, Patrick Moore, rest in peace, never forget. And I think it's always an interesting thing to watch because it's a real kind of joy of space. And I think, people can love games like this. But if you get a bit of the back knowledge of the whole thing, then that's interesting. Because, for example, scientists, and here we go, you're ready for this. Scientists now believe that the vast majority of the universe is planets, because they do believe that the most stars are planets, or a number of stars are planets now. Most of them in the universe are actually like Uranus and Neptune. I'm going to avoid the obvious joke there, but most of them are like Uranus. I can help it. But they're like Uranus and Neptune because they're like so far away from the sun. They have frozen ammonia ice cores, and basically they're just huge gas, liquid giants, frozen giants at the kind of peripheries of the universe. Because if you think about it, the liquid zone is within Mars, so just beyond Mars towards the center of the sun. All of those planets are rock because the liquid zone effectively is either water or vapor, and that's because the average temperature I think is something like 100 degree zero or just above in terms of the kind of solar winds, etc. I don't know if I've got this right, but I just remember thinking, oh, well, that explains why there's a vast majority of ice on Mars. That's why there's very little, or there's no liquid on, no water certainly on Venus, Mercury, and others. But there is things like liquid ammonia and stuff like that, or vaporous ammonia. But it's interesting stuff, and I'm sure a lot of you are now laughing at my complete layman knowledge of this, but it was interesting because it really did show you that at the center of most solar systems is a zone that is incredibly hot. That's obviously then radiating from the sun. But the further you go out, so in our solar system, when you get to around the asteroid belt, everything's now kind of, I guess, allowed to conform, or the gases effectively that created the universe don't necessarily, or rather they form the giant planets like Jupiter and Saturn, because that's kind of like what happened. This huge cloud of gas ignited in the middle, formed the sun. Obviously that's basically primarily what happened, and then it took all of the kind of gases and such into that. But what then happened was it didn't take everything. So the further back towards Jupiter, that was then this huge kind of disk of gas was still available, and so Jupiter and Saturn formed. And then obviously much further back, Neptune and Uranus, etc., formed out of all of the incredibly cold gases and liquids and solids and such. So they're called ice planets, I believe. But it's fascinating stuff. And to be honest, I still regard Pluto as a planet. Fuck you, I seriously do, because I remember GCSE physics and science. I remember learning all about the 9 planets, not the 8. You goddamn bastards. Anyway, so Pluto, rest in peace, never forget as well, because that's basically a little rock in the distance. But this is kind of the interesting stuff that does underpin a game like Elite. Let's face it, it really does. And I know I've just completely made it such an absolute a hash of it all completely, but I would say that watching something like BBC's This World, or no, what's it called? Not This World, that was something completely different. I think it was called Space, literally just BBC's Space, is a great thing. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'm sure half of these things, if not all, are actually on YouTube to watch for free. But hey, I can't condone that sort of stuff. But if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. But to be honest, there's lots of really good stuff out there. And I think for me, The Sky at Night is still a sublime program because it just talks about really cool stuff. Like, I didn't know, and this will make me look stupid, but I did not know that in the night sky you can actually see Neptune and Uranus. Again, avoiding the obvious joke, because you just assume they're stars, but in this program they actually point out where they are. And I went outside and had a look. Kind of think I saw it, but it was like, wow, that's like a planet. That's Neptune, Uranus. I honestly didn't think. I thought they were too dim. You couldn't see them. So I was well impressed, because that means you can. Okay, I think you need like binoculars. I think they said it was a binoculars only one, but either way, kind of cool. I love it. I think I'm going to get into this astronomy lark because of games like Elite, because to me it's interesting. I think it's absolutely fascinating, the underpinning of this entirely, and I think this is why every time I kind of fly around now, I'm looking at the planets thinking, well, that's a gas giant, that's an Earth type planet, and so on and so on. And then you kind of start looking at the sun. Well, what's the distance? Have they got that right? Is it pretty much the same distance the Earth to the sun is this planet to this sun? And I quite like that. I think that's actually quite cool. There is the kind of ability to really get quite over the top with this, and I'm not going to. I know a lot of people are really into the whole kind of AU measurement and discussion, etc. So I'm around a gas giant now. Are we the right AU from the sun to enable a gas giant? I'm not going to do that, but I just find it fascinating, and that hopefully there's a bit of that logic being underpinned with the random generator this game will or does employ. Because think about it, 400 billion stars, they can't have coded them all, so there's going to be randomization here. So I hope there is a little bit of interest out there as well. My hope is that there is somebody paid at Frontier Development just to create anomalies in deep space. So they are fixed, they're always there, so people can say, oh my god, I found this, go and look at it, and people will make a pilgrimage to go and get it. Because otherwise there's not really that much interesting stuff out there. I hope there's also a few more hard-coded systems in deep space. On the other side of the universe, maybe there's a Thargoid empire that's sat there, that if you're very nice to, they'll let you dock and refuel. But that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I'd like the idea of things like that. I think I hope there's a lot more kind of shining beacons of light in the dark, that if you really struggle to, you can get to, and then all of a sudden you've got access to a whole area of station systems and maps that are locked, that will always be there. And I really can't wait for that. But how's it going to work? Are we going to find that there's going to be a couple of explorers who just explore everything, so they start literally finding 400 billion stars? I doubt it. I think, if I go and find a star in the middle of the universe, does it then appear to you guys? That'll be interesting. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work. But there we go. I mean, this game just sucks you in. It is such a good game. I can only tell you that this is one of the beauties. And look at that. In my little travel here, I made 22 grand. Not bad, eh? I'm still way off that lake on Type 6. I'm not even sure I'm going to get a lake on Type 6, but I think I'm going to have to start looking quite objectively at making some serious money soon. So there we go. Post in comments. Tell me your little space revelations like I had. And if you wish to mock me about my space knowledge, then please do so as well. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.